Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the rally, or the surge, or it's also known medically as terminal lucidity. I prefer rally, so that's what I'm going to call it. When a person has a rally, they can look like they are very close to the end of life, then suddenly they're awake. They might want to visit with family, phone a friend, eat a bite or two, or sometimes even eat a whole meal. One patient of mine called all of her friends and invited them over to play bridge. Another one asked me to make her a grilled cheese sandwich. But the most profound rally I ever saw was in 2006. The lady I was caring for in our hospice house had been actively dying. I mean, like, actively dying. She looked like she was minutes from death for several days. Well, it was a Sunday, a football Sunday, and her family was partying it up in her room. They had snacks and beverages, and the TV was blasting the game. I actually pulled one of her adult sons aside and asked if he thought the atmosphere was okay for her. Side note, that was back before I realized not everyone wants peace and quiet and harps when they're dying. I'm actually not sure why I even thought that, because I sure as shit wouldn't. Don't hold the harps, please. Anyway, he told me she loved hosting football parties, and the Seahawks were her team. In fact, she was a diehard Seahawks fan, no pun intended, and they had made it to the Super Bowl that year. I left to go take care of other patients, and when I came back, she was unbelievably awake. She was sitting up in the bed, munching on a cracker and cheering her Hawks. And the game ended. And unfortunately, if you know your football, you know the Seahawks lost the game to the Steelers, and she became unresponsive again about an hour later. She died the next day. When I notified her son, he joked and said it was probably because her team lost. Although there are theories, this unexplainable event is caused by hormones excreted by failing organs, which makes sense since we give steroids, which are hormones, to people to perk them up. There aren't any studies or evidence to prove that. It's just another one of those end-of-life mysteries we can't explain, and do we really need to? Of course, when someone has this miraculous turnaround, what do you think the family thinks? They're going to get better. They aren't dying after all. They can come off hospice now. The reality is they are actually close to the end of life. The rally doesn't usually last very long, a day or less, before they return to the work of dying, and they will almost always die within about a week. So what should you do if your person has a rally? Enjoy it. Take advantage of it. Watch football with them. An end-of-life rally happens in only about 4 out of 10 dying patients. If you are lucky enough to have this extra gift of time with your person, consider it a window of opportunity for closure and goodbye.